Hey everybody, it's Will, and Thomas is backstage. It's both of us from OK Boomer, the podcast. Starting a little something new called Boomer Gaming. Maybe once a month we're going to come up and check out a new game, or just play a game and try to have some fun with everybody. Today we're going to check out Video Vortex from mondoshop.com. Or you can find them on Twitter and Instagram at Mondo, a.k.a. Mondo News. Go check them out. Give them a nice like and a follow. So we thank them for providing us Video Vortex. So, before we get into it, as always, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor for this video, SpinWiz Comics at spinwizcomics.com. It is a webcomic and indie comic discovery platform. So in case you didn't know, now you know. Go check them out. Indie and webcomics, free to read. That's right, I said free to read. You can download the app both on iOS and Android. Download it and read a bunch of free comics. Check it out for yourself. Download the app on your phone or tablet, iPad too, and read yourself some free comics. It's good, free, wholesome entertainment. Check it out for yourself. The link is right in the chat. The link for Mondo Shop is in the chat as well. And here's just a quick peek of what the app will look like on your phone. Ta-da! So we're gonna do. I'm gonna do an unboxing. Thomas is in the green room, actually setting his up. We're still trying to figure this thing out. So there's like this little cardboard strap that goes around the game to keep the box closed, and it's got some cool artwork on the side, giving you like a little bit lowdown on the game. There's a Video Vortex manual. There's actually one inside the game too. They gave me this cool Rewind Your Mind t-shirt, which you can't really read because I'm sitting funny and I'm in a wheelchair and everything. So take this off, and the artwork. This is another great product from Mondo Shop. I mean, all their stuff is like super top notch. This game is $40, and it's for 2 to 4 players. And move my coffee. Opening up the box, so you get a bunch of game pieces. So, boom, these, and you have more of them on this one. I got to punch them all out. Are the Suns, and they're part of the game. And this white thing is actually the active player icon. So it's kind of like the talking stick at summer camp. Can't talk if you don't have the stick. So if it was my turn first, I would have this in front of me, and then I would pass it to the it goes around to the left until everybody plays and it comes back to you. And then you have like 3 unique of these tokens. Once you get one of each of those tokens during gameplay, you win the game. Thomas and I are just going to play one round. We don't have any idea how long it's going to be, and whoever gets the first token will just win for now. Just so you all can check it out for yourself. And I'm going to pop the Suns out and my little thing, and I'm going to like start dismantling this. As you can see, I'm proud of myself because since I came home from being in a coma and not being able to walk 4 years ago, I have limited mobility, so I'm in a wheelchair. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that, but oh well. And there's a bunch of like little baggies and stuff because now we don't need that, and I can just put that one in the trash. And you get the suns. I'm gonna have to, once I get this stuff done, I'm gonna have to move my keyboard so we can set up. Thomas is already setting up. They were supposed to give me like a different one. This is like this looks to be the same exact thing, but this one is glossy and this one is a matte finish. Which one is collectible? Woohoo! So this is the game board. I'll set that up shortly. Matter of fact, let me start setting that up now. I'm just gonna shift the little things, and I'm going to not knock the pieces down on the ground. There we go. We'll get that out of the way. And this is the game board. Which way does it go? There we go. It goes this way. I'll just move these out of the way for now so I can set this up over my old ratty Batman playmat from wish.com. I got to get to my favorite game store here in Mass and get a new like D&D playmat. Then you have the these are like the turn rewind dials. These are for your life counters. I'll just put this on the side because I've got like a 2.5 foot table here. I don't have much room to do much of anything. And then you get, for 4 players, I'll just use this one. Ooh, look, extra baggies. And this one, this opens up. You have to punch things out here. And there's little things on either side that you punch out because there's some pieces that there's like little glowy cubes, blue and red. Kind of, sort of, I guess, that you use for energy and something else that we'll find out about shortly. And here are those little game pieces. There is a game phase card here in this little baggie to kind of like walk you through things basically until you get the gist of it, This bag has all of the mutants. Of course, we're going to show the video in a minute, and it's got a whole bunch of different mutants. They recommend. So there's medium mutants, low, medium, high, and that's the complexity. Low, high, medium, low, low. Okay, so they recommend when you start off until you get the hang of the game. I know it's weird not seeing a head. It's the headless horseman. Halloween's over. That you just pick, a low So I'll grab, what I think is like a cool looking low. So I'm going to grab this mutant, and this is DEFCON Hero. I know it's a little, you can see it better out here. So I will pick that one. I will put the rest of these back in the bag. I'm sure Thomas is picking his in the green room. He's getting everything all set up professional, and I am just, being a little bit of a hack. And they give you like this little clip. And somehow, there you go. And that's so you have like this little stand. Boop. And that's like, it's your turn. It's the your turn token. So they tell you to put it in this way, because that way it looks like a TV screen. But when you're getting ready to get everything together, you can keep it out and just look at it like that, because there's certain things you need to do. And then there's like a whole bunch of cards in here. They're all slippery because I have not unpacked them yet. What I'm going to do now is I am going to bring up, oops, doesn't work on the table. I'm going to bring up a video. And before we play the video, we're going to go up and just show you the page in Mondo shop. Video Vortex is a $40 game. No need to adjust your tracking. We designed a revamped and revised 2020 edition of Video Vortex. Rulebook that is available for download here, and that's on the site. You can download the PDF to your computer. Plus, while supplies last, each purchase will be packed with an assortment of limited edition 2-color screen printed handbills featuring art by Boneface and starring mutants from the game. Thomas and I were comped these games, so since we weren't paying customers, we didn't actually get them. But that's cool. We'd rather have them go to you when you buy the game. If there's any even still left, everything Mondo does is for a lot of things is like limited editions, but they'll say so on the packaging and on the when you look at them on the website, it'll tell you. Rewind your mind and prepare to enter Video Vortex, a complex deck building game for 2 to 4 players. It takes what we love about VHS and video store culture and smashes it together into an action-packed board game through a radioactive Earth. You play as a video-obsessed mutant battling your opponents for control of the wasteland. Each genre-worshipping character must strategically employ their individual mutant powers while battling opponents and navigating game effects on their respective turns. Players spend energy to play special cards, power their deck with rentals from the local video store. See, kids, video stores were these places we used to have to go to rent things before you could just lay on your couch and just stream everything. I miss the video stores. So anywho, mutant powers while battling opponents and navigating game effects on the respective turns. Players spend energy to play special cards, power their deck with rentals from the local video store, and eject chosen cards from play to weaken foes. Runtime, the measure of mutants' health, so that's the life counter, is limited and unique to each character. By advancing an opponent's runtime beyond their limit through lo-fi and hi-fi attacks, mutants collect Be Kind tokens. Those are the red, blue, and green tokens, the little smiley faces. The red has one eye, the green has two eyes, and the blue has three eyes. You're supposed to, like if you had 4 people playing, you'd have to collect one of each of those tokens. A representative of their conquest. Once 3 distinctive trophies have been collected, victory is declared by the reigning champion. This game was designed by Mitch Reichman and Trevin Haskell. The artist for this was Boneface. Interesting name. And the property, of course, is Video Vortex. So up here, we can get a better look at some of the art. So, of course, that's the box that you saw. And this is, if you have the room, how you actually set up your game. And just to give you a look at, the pieces, there's so much in this box. I'm surprised it's only $40. Seriously. So we're going to come down here, and I'm going to max this out on the screen like so. And we will play the instructional video for you.
Hey friends, so glad you're here. I'm Becca Scott, and I'm going to teach you how to play Video Vortex from Mondo Games. In this futuristic throwback to the days of VHS, players take on the role of mutants, duking it out in an arena of combat designed by Josh himself. Read the lore in the rulebook when you get some time. It's wild. Setup begins with the Vortex board placed center. Take the Vortex cards and place the following cards in the top row of the Vortex board as follows: signal splitters, bargain bin cards, head cleaners, and damaged tapes. It's my nickname in high school. Set aside all the special interest and staff pick cards for now. Shuffle the remaining Video Vortex cards, which can be identified with a cost and genre on the top right of their cards, into a deck and place them on the bottom left of the board. Then reveal and place 5 cards from the deck on the tape spaces to the right. This area is known as the Vortex. Place the 8 suns face up below the board. Next, each player takes a player board, a runtime dial with a tens slot and a 1 slot, 2 teal energy cubes, 1 red charge cube, and 3 Be Kind tokens. The Be Kind tokens are the main objective of the game. Once a player has collected one of each type of Be Kind token from their opponent, they win the game. Players choose 1 mutant to play in the game. Mutants have a complexity level below their name. For your first game, I recommend a low complexity mutant. Once you're an expert at VHS combat, try some of the more complex mutants. After each player has selected, they gain the cards listed on their supply list and shuffle them into a face-down deck. Cards labeled staff pick or special interest have the mutant's name on the left. Look for those to add to each player's personal deck. Place the mutant sheet into the player boards with the runtime and powers face up. A mutant's runtime is effectively their life points. Once the runtime on their personal dial exceeds the runtime on their mutant sheet, that mutant dies. More on that in just a sec. Place the 2 energy cubes in the left track and the charge cube in the right track. The player who selected last in the mutant selection takes the first player marker. All players now draw a starting hand of 4 cards from their personal deck. Before we dive into gameplay, let's take a look at these cards. Cards can have a cost in the top right, which is the amount of money needed to rent it from the Vortex. A genre, which includes action, comedy, horror, or sci-fi. An energy cost on the left side, and a card type on the right. either SP for standard play, which will be discarded at the end of a player's turn, or LP for long play, which can stay in play over multiple turns. LP cards also have a runtime and can be targeted just like mutants. There's an effect in the text box and bonus abilities like syncing, which activates when two cards of the same genre are active in a player's area, and free with rental, which gives the player a bonus when they rent the card from the Vortex. Some cards forward and others rewind the runtime dial. Forward can be used to advance opposing mutants' runtimes, inching them closer to death. Rewind turns the dial back for a mutant, extending their playtime a bit longer. Other cards provide money and actions. In all these cases, there's no pieces to track them. Players add these values in their noggin when playing and spin them accordingly. Gameplay occurs in rounds, each divided into 3 phases: Sun Phase, Action Phase, and End Phase. First up, in the Sun Phase. Beginning with the first player and proceeding clockwise, everyone selects one Sun card, placing it near their player board. Each Sun has a unique power that can be used in the Action Phase. Beginning in the second round, the first player marker passes to the left, and players return their used Suns before selecting a new one. Players cannot have the same Sun 2 rounds in a row. Next up, the Action Phase and End Phase occur in turn order for each player. The first player will go through their action and end phases, then play passes clockwise until all players have gone. After that, a new round begins with another Sun Phase. In the Action Phase, players can use their cards and Sun to forward their opponent's runtime and rent new cards from the Vortex. On their turn, the active player may take as many actions as they are able in whichever order they want. They can do the following: play cards from their hand, provided they spend energy from their track equal to the cost of the played card. Spending energy doesn't return it to the supply, it's just added to a player's area. Cards effects triggered here, and played cards remain in play until that player's end phase. LP cards will stay even longer. Players can also spend charges to activate a power on their mutant sheet. They can activate their Sun power by exhausting it. This means turning it 90 degrees. They can spend money to rent cards from the Vortex. Renting cards adds them to a player's hand, which means they can be played that turn. Immediately fill empty spaces on the Vortex with a new card from the deck. After a player has completed all their actions, they move to their end phase. They discard all cards from their hand and SP cards in their play area. They unexhaust all cards and their Sun. Then flip their Sun and follow the instructions. Return all spent energy to their track and gain 1 energy. Gain 1 charge to their track, 2 charges if their energy is already maxed. And draw 4 new cards from their personal deck. If a player must draw cards and no cards remain, they shuffle their discard into a new deck. Players continue with action phases and end phases until all players have gone. Rounds continue with players increasing opponents' runtimes and renting new, powerful cards from the Vortex. Some important concepts. When forwarding, a player may only apply the forward to one opponent on a turn until that opponent dies. If they die, the player can target another player on that turn with additional cards. Excess forward does not carry over to another opponent. Remember, when a player's runtime dial exceeds the runtime on their sheet, they die. The player who dealt the killing blow may take 1 Be Kind token from the top of their victim's board and add it to their personal trophy area. The dead mutant resets their runtime to 0-0 and play continues because mutants always come back for the sequels. Once again, Be Kind tokens are the main objective of the game. A player must acquire 1 of each type of Be Kind token from other players. If a player kills a mutant who has no Be Kind tokens on their top area that player doesn't already have, they may instead steal a trophy from that mutant of the type they need, but only in this special circumstance. And that's the basics of Video Vortex. Players continue their forwarding and rewinding until one player has acquired 3 Be Kind trophies, one of each type, to win the game. Thanks for watching this How to Play video from Mondo Games. You can head to your local Alamo Draft House to pick up a copy. And remember to be kind and rewind, kids.
Well, that was interesting. Now let's see if has Thomas made any headway with this game?
Yes, I have.
Have you figured it out?
For the most part, yeah.
Because I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like confused AF.
All right. Well, the first thing you got to do, I said, you really have to set the board up. So we got the board set up, and then when you look on the board, there's 4 sections. Okay. There's signal splitters. There's bargain bin. Then you got the head cleaner section. Shows you how old this game is trying to be. Nobody uses head cleaners anymore. And then damage tapes. Okay, if you look, their cards are actually marked. Let's see if my camera can mark. See, this one says, at the top it says bargain bin cards. See, they got a little purple on them.
Really? I don't see that.
Yeah, you have to look through them all. It took me a minute, but see, these are marked bargain bin, and then these are marked signal splitter.
Well, I have an idea. Give me a second. I'm going to
put your glasses on.
No, I'm going to put my other light on because I can't see anything. So.
Oh crap!
I'll be right back.
All right. So what we're trying to set this up here, and we're going to show you how we've got your bargain bin cards. I'm flipping them over, but normally when you're playing this, they would actually be on the other way, so you would never see what you got there because you draw from this area. So you've got your bargain bin cards here, and like I said, they say bargain bin on them. My camera's not being the helping me there, but there's bargain bin, and then you've got signal splitter, which is there. These say head cleaner. And then these are your damage tape cards. So these are the four stacks up top of cards that you can draw from and pick from whichever way you want. All right. Then down at the bottom, this is from what I got. This is your Video Vortex deck. Okay. You shuffle the cards together, and then you put them out, and then you have a run of, this is your Vortex. These are the cards that you can pick, use, and then these are your Suntrons. So when everybody goes to play, you get 1 Suntron. And like the lady was saying in the video, no 2 players can have, the same Suntron, two rows in the back. And each one says something different. Like this one says forward 3 or rewind 3. So this would be an action that you would actually take in the game. And then when you do this action, you turn your Suntron so that you know it's being used. And when your action phase is over, you flip it and then resolve whatever happens in the end. It says draw. On the back of this one, it says gain 1 energy and 1 charge. If you already have 6 energy, gain 2 charges instead, and then draw 4 cards. Okay. All right. And then, of course, here's, like William was showing a while ago, your mutant sheets. I picked this one up, which is Ridgemont, and he's low. And it shows you what's your supply list. These are your starting cards here at the bottom. Okay. This character gets, he's low, so he gets 3 bargain bin cards, 2 Rotten Tails cards, a system shock, a signal splitter, and 3 staff pick cards. Those are actually in here, and you'll pick them out, and then they say staff pick or whatever. We hope we're doing this right. It's been a long time since I've played an actual card game like this. And then on the back, it shows your runtime for your character. Like this one is 45. So this is where you use your little runtime dial. We're going to set it at 40, then 5. And then it'll go backwards and forwards as you need be.
Okay, so where did you say you saw the thing on the cards to tell you what kind of cards they are?
Oh, they're kind of mixed up. Like this one says, see where it says signal splitter? This one's down here. Right underneath this one's got a 1 on it.
Yeah, I don't see where any of them are.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of cards.
Yeah, well, they put them in like 4 packs in the thing.
Yeah.
But then, none of them are.
They're kind of mixed up. I had to go through and sort them all out.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well, what we could do is we could start and kind of show how it goes.
Yeah.
From the way we've gathered. You really have to break the whole thing apart and start. And see, everybody starts with 2 energies and a charge. And the 2 energies are green and the charge is red. So that's how you start. It shows you your runtime, which we've got this here. And then, so here's my hand, my started cards, which you put over here, and then you would actually draw a card. Move my phone out of the way and my Frank Sinatra CD, if y'all want to listen to Frank Sinatra later.
Okay, Boomer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that really come up, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So here's your deck, and you draw your cards. First thing you do is pick one of these from what I got, and let's say we're going to do this one. And as the cards go by, because we were talking earlier about where you get the money from.
Mm-hmm.
With your hand card, you've got these bargain bin cards. I saw these because you can do like the bargain bin cards. If you look at them, they don't charge any. They don't cost anything. Okay.
Yeah, we can't see them.
There's 0. They don't cost anything. But if you play the bargain bin cards, which you can play as many as you can as long as you've got charges, they cost 0, but it says gain $1. So let's say I played these 2 bargain bin cards. There's $2. And then I could rent this movie, this tape right here, the Harvest of Pain 2, The Reaping. Can y'all read that?
We can see it, yeah.
Okay.
And it's got they all have different icons. Some of them have sci-fi, horror, and various other genres.
Action, yeah. And when you play multiple cards together that have the same genre, I guess it doubles the effects.
Yeah, they call it syncing. Yeah, so it syncs up.
Yeah, so I rent this card for $2 because I played these 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I rent this card for $2, and then it costs me 1 energy to use. So then I take my little 1 energy and I say, oh, I'm using him. So I use my 1 energy, and then I can use this card. Okay, and it says, huff 2 head cleaners. If you have 2 or more LPs in play, gain 1 charge. And so I would, draw a card, guessing here, and then gain another charge from over here. And then you keep playing that way until you move this forward. So let's find one that's, now they did read, the lady was showing on the video, that you have the LP cards that you can play, which are long play cards.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually play over multiple rounds. And then you have the short play cards like this one, which only takes, just 1 round and then it's over with.
Yeah, as soon as you end, that card has to go to your discard. The LPs, the long plays, actually have a number next, underneath that.
Yeah, it's right on the side.
Yep, and that tells you how many rounds that card is good for.
Yes, and then you can actually, as we were watching the video, you can actually target not only the life of your opponent or the time of this run play card, this LP card, to get rid of it. So like this card is gain a charge, and it costs this. Exeta costs 1 less energy for each mutation you possess. And there are mutation cards. There's a bunch. I didn't realize there were this many cards until we really started going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, there are the 8 different Suntrons. And like I said, you can only have one, but once you've got that, once you've you've drawn your cards, you've played them, you've either damaged your opponent or not, then you essentially get your charges back. And if you haven't used them, you get your extra charge and you get your energy back. They don't go away. It's kind of like, I guess you get recharged a little bit as the game progresses. And then as you attack your opponent, the idea, like she was saying, to get the little one of each of these 3 tokens. They all just look like this, actually. If you ever worked at a video store, they only look like this. They didn't look like this one-eyed monster that looks like a little minion guy, or this guy that looks like, I don't know, another monster, something. They just look like this. And we used to have to rewind videotapes all the time.
Be kind, rewind.
Yep. And Lord, you don't want to talk about putting unknown tapes in the VCR when it's playing overhead.
Don't put none of them back room tapes in.
People would bring in the home movie backroom tapes. But yeah, so that's basically how you play, but you really need to kind of be sitting across from one another with your boards out so you can see as everything is progressing. What is good about this is they actually do provide, did you see these, Will?
Yeah, the cheat sheet, as we call them.
Yes, the little cheat sheet, because there is a lot going on here. And that, I think this really helps. It seems like once you've done this a couple times, we've talked about it a couple times now, but once you've actually played it sitting across from a person, I think you would catch on pretty quick. And what's nice is in the instruction manual, I've actually got the one that they sent us inside the book. They are kind enough, I'm going to get out here to show you, that they actually do have full examples of play. So like I said, you probably stumble through it for the first time because of the actual number of moving parts here. But once you get it on, get used to it, I don't think this would be any more complicated than, some of the other deck building games out there.
Yeah, the only deck building game that was like super complicated that I tried to play was the original series Star Trek deck building game. That was
really?
That was like ridiculous.
Well,
I've actually got the DC Heroes deck building game and the legendary one from Marvel. That both of those are pretty good.
Well, I guess just to show you how old I am or whatever, the last deck building game I played on a regular basis was Yu-Gi-Oh! And yes, I actually played in tournaments. Hey, I won a couple regionals once, or whatever you want to call them, where they have the local.
Yeah.
I've got some mats. They do have even special interest cards, which are kind of cool. The art is really good on this series, these cards and stuff. And I do like it is a little classic theme, the whole video store thing. Like I said, we were talking earlier, I guess I ran a video store for about 4 years, so it's kind of cool. Did you not get the official member?
Oh, yes, I got that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little keychain. I haven't even opened it yet.
I had forgotten all about that. It's over on my counter. I had to move like so much stuff off the table.
Yes, it's made in Japan, all hand paint.
Yeah, and now I can't close my box because
it says the Mutant Power Alliance of America.
So what are like some of the special interest cards like?
Oh, okay. Let me look at them. I set them right back down. Let's see. Here's one. It says Justice Juice. It says increase the money and forward effects of your lo-fi and hi-fi powers by 1. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside so we can go over that. Like, and I'll pull out these other people. We'll go over that. All right. So we got each person you play. As I struggle. So you got Captain. There's 12 different mutants. Okay. And like I said, they're low in complexity. They go medium in complexity, and then there is a high. I think it was high, low, medium. Yeah, high. And they all have their mutant genes. And you get your supply list. Looks like each person has a little slight different supply list. So this one, if you look at this guy that we picked for this example we were setting up here, Ridgemont is low. Okay, he gets 3 bargain bins, 2 Rotten Tails cards, 1 System Shock card, 1 Signal Splitter, and 3 Staff Pick cards. This guy, his name is the Mutant Gene. That's his name. He's a high complex character. He gets 3 bargain bins, 2 Rotten Tails, 1 System Shock, 1 Signal Splitter, 3 Staff Picks, 4 Gamma Ray cards, and 4 mutation phases. So he gets a lot more stuff to work with. And as you progress, let's see, his runtime is 50 versus the 45 on the other guy. And his charges acquire 1 cathode ray and rewind 4. And his hi-fi power right here on this guy is, it cost him 4 charges to do it. It's acquire 1 mutation. If you have all 4 mutations, you trigger the Gamma Bomb, whatever the Gamma Bomb is. It usually ends up making a Hulk. This guy his charge cost for his lo-fi power is rent 1 Signal Splitter for free. So these Signal Splitter cards that we set up here. So let's say I'm playing. I use my power. Oh, there. I use my power. See, I used it. It's there. And then you go up here to the Signal Splitter cards, which are the first one. I rent a Signal Splitter. It costs me 1 energy, and it says choose 1, gain $6, or forward 6 points, 6 spaces, and you use that forward on your opponent to make them go to 0.
Yep.
And then when you get them to 0, they die, and then you get to pick one of their little be kind tokens.
Yep.
And then, but they're not dead. Then they just set their stuff to 0, and then they come back, and they keep playing
until somebody has it. So they go to 0 and they die, and you get one of the tokens.
Yep.
They go to 0, but then their following turn, they rewind and go back to their original thing.
But now they're missing 1 token.
Yeah, and once you get all their tokens, you win and they're gone.
Yep. Now, let's see. I showed you a high. Let's look at this medium guy. This guy's name is Kid Gamma, okay? And you'll look compared to the high guy over here that we had. Where'd I have him? The Mutant Gene guy right here. Okay. This guy gets 3 bargain bins, 2 Rotten Tails, a System Shock, a Signal Splitter, 3 Staff Picks, and 4 Justice Juice. So he gets the Justice Juice, and old dude over here gets the mutation phase. So they are different. And what's neat
Justice
is
juice.
it's what they serve at the Justice League.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
But yeah, I guess so. There is a good it seems like to me, once you've played a couple rounds and as you progress through the game, people would naturally gravitate to one character and then be able to really get good playing that specific character.
Yeah, and then obviously the higher characters have better powers and mutations and attacks.
Yeah. Well, then the other thing too, like I said, I'm gonna pull up here so you can see don't look at my terrible house. But yeah, so they have better better powers, better abilities. The other thing too is as you hit the stronger characters, I imagine, because actually if you look at the game on the back, let me flip the box up. I left one guy in here. Here's DEFCON 0. It says on the back that, no, somewhere else I read it. I think it said that they had a runtime of around 45 to 60 minutes per game.
Oh, it might be on the band.
But it said that's how long it would take to play one game. And what I'm guessing is the more complex the characters are, the longer it's going to take to play, just because you're going to have more powers and such.
Mm-hmm. And it's set up for 2 to 4 players.
Yeah, they do include
everything you get in the box. They send you enough so you can have like 4 people play.
Mm-hmm.
So you can start practicing this and then take it out on have a nice game night with the family. And
yeah, and see, so you pick your character and then you put it all in here like this so they see the little, and then I do like the little spaces to put your powers and all that.
Yeah.
What's really kind of amazing about this, I know we talked about it, and you even talked about it in the unboxing, it is a really high quality game. All this cardboard, if you can't see, is pretty thick. I mean, it's going to hold up for a while.
Oh yeah, it's thick and laminated, and I mean it's nice. I know on the Mondo shop page, there is an updated rule book for 2020. So I guess this game, they came out with it and it was older, and then they did like some game updates. After beta testing and everything, and they did like a new 2020 rule update, maybe because 2020 is 2020, and
and that's the thing. We got this, and we've had it. We'll be honest, we've had it for about 3 weeks now, I guess.
Yeah.
And I looked at it a number of times, and I was trying to get through it, and we watched the video.
A bunch of times.
I've watched it numerous times. And like I said, the last deck building game I played was Yu-Gi-Oh! But I may go online and check out the new updated rules for 2020 and see if there's something I'm missing. Because like I said, it doesn't seem that hard once you get going. But like I said, you really need to be able to sit across from your opponent and play.
Yeah, I'm on like a 2-foot table, and my camera and my mic are on here, and a few other things. And I spent like an hour clearing my desk off to try to set this up. And the big thing was I couldn't see where exactly on the cards it said what they were, 'cause it's like supposed to be like 4 stacks of stuff, but they tell you to leave out the way they put the cards together in those 4 packs. I would have thought that those were the designated 4 piles. So you open them up and put them down, and
they're all together.
And I'm like, I go, well, if they're all together like that, why don't you just put them in one big giant cellophane pack?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that
Dang it.
I'm having a little I don't say a little issue with. We figured most of them out. I got most of them figured out because if that's all the signal splitter cards I see, this is all like I said, this was all the bargain bin cards. And they say, like I said, they say bargain bin on them. And they have but it looks like all the bargain bin cards, are
the same.
They're the same. They say, like this one says, this one's, costs $0, zero energy. And it says, you want to ski, you get $1. This one's algebra, bro. It's $1. This one's kids cartoons from 1923 to 1939. It's $1, or it gives you $1 when you play it. Zero energy, you play it and you get $1, and then you use that $1 to rent these other bigger cards. But I don't want to be ugly, but kids cartoons 1923 to 1939. That's probably like some really cool, Betty Boop and
yeah, that's gonna make me like search the interwebs for like old cartoons to watch tonight while I go to sleep. Yeah.
Here's another one. Books on video. Moby Dick.
All right. The artwork is phenomenal on this. Mondo pretty much spares no expense for anything they put out. A lot of the stuff, and let me call it the collectible stuff, meaning it's somebody else's IP and they make certain things. It's always limited. Like beginning of the year, I got the Mondo Catwoman, like 1/12 figure from Batman the Animated Series that I attempted to review, and it's my first kind of like toy opening.
Yeah,
and that did not go well. But it was a phenomenal looking figure, and all the action figures that they do are super limited. They usually sell out like in record time. They have limited awesome vinyl. See, kids, vinyl was this big round thing. We would put it on a turntable. You might know it as a record player, and we would listen to music on it. But they've got like some cool soundtracks. They've got the new Bill and Ted soundtrack, but it's done up as the actual Wild Stallions album.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh man, 1993 me wants that so bad.
All right, I'm going through this while we're talking and looking. So I'm looking at all of the cards up here at the top of the board actually say the same thing. So all the head cleaners say draw a card, then eject this card. It says forward 3, then draw a card, then eject this card. And then the damage tape card says play immediately when drawn, advance your runtime 6 and draw a card, then discard this card. Mm-hmm. So apparently all of these say the exact same thing pretty much. And the other big stack of cards from the bottom is what's going to help run the game forward. So, but yeah, we really need to. So I guess one of us is going to have to get on an airplane and fly to the other one's house. And we'll play.
Oh, okay. When you getting here?
When am I getting there? I was there last year,
Yeah, you didn't come visit or nothing. What the hell's wrong with you?
Dude, I know.
Oh, I had the family in tow, and it was supposed to be some vacation thingy, and
yeah, I know. So you're talking about we want to try and do this once every so often.
Yeah, we should probably do some kind of game thing like once a month.
I've got a ton of games. You know what this kind of reminds me of, and it's a little bit more complicated, and I'm pretty sure you've never played it. Have you ever heard of Machikora?
Nope.
Okay. Machikora is kind of like this a little bit. It's a card game, so they've got some stuff together. But I mean, it's not a whole lot, and
Is it like a deck building game?
it's kind of like a deck building game, but you get your little cards and you build a little city, and you make little coffee shops and stuff like that. Nobody dies. Whoever gets the biggest city wins.
I think the first deck building game I ever played was Ascension.
Ascension. Actually, I think I remember that one.
It's an older deck building game. It's basically the go-to model for the game, for the gameplay. Every deck building game is different, but Ascension and a couple other ones that came out years and years ago, or basically where they got the the game mechanics. That's what I was looking for. It's basically where they get the game mechanics for the gameplay.
Well, we need to go ahead and tell everybody, and I know you're a little older than I am by a year, I think, year or two. But we'll go ahead and be honest and let everybody know. Back years and years ago, they only had board games, Dungeons and Dragons, and then the whole first deck building game that I ever remember was the Wizards of the Coast game now. Magic the Gathering.
Oh God, that'll MTG will bleed a mother bleeper's wallet dry in like a week.
I remember when it came out, and there was a whole group of us, and we refused to play because we all play Dungeons and Dragons about 2 or 3 times a week.
That game is still going, but I mean, when I went back to the game shop, I hadn't played it since like their Ice Age set came out, and that was probably like about 15 years prior.
Yeah.
And within a year, I think I probably dropped like $2,000.
Good God.
Buying cards and sets. Well, you buy yourself a booster box when they come out, so you have a better chance of getting stuff. And then the cards you want, aren't in there. And then you got to go buy the cards. And of course, the only cards anybody wants are all the ones that are, you get people that hang out at the shops, and then they order and they buy like a case. They all go in for like a case of the boosters. And they go through and they shuffle through all the cards, and they get all the high end cards, and they put them together. And before they go to sleep, this is all on a 24-hour period. They list them all on eBay, and because they're, especially when they're brand new and they blow them out. This game, I mean, I got to give this game like 5 stars. One, coming off the Boomer crew, this has got to get 5 stars because it's bringing us back to the days of the video store, and in a post-apocalyptic world with these mutants. So it's as comic book guys, it's got like a little bit of Mad Max, a little bit of X-Men going, little touch of Class from the X-Men, and a few other things. There's great game pieces in there. There's great lore. And in the video, she said somewhere in the book, if you read like the backstories on like some of like the characters and stuff.
That's in the front.
Oh, it's in the front?
Yeah, it's in the front of the instruction book. It's like 5 or 6 pages on the world lore.
Yeah, the lore is supposed to be hilarious.
The other thing too, talking about all the Mad Max and that, don't forget, or unless you ever played it, remember Gamma World? Man, Gamma World was a Dungeons and Dragons kind of knockoff that was set in the post-apocalyptic future.
Dude, I'm an only child. I didn't have anybody to play games with.
Oh my God.
I mean, I had a bunch of cool games when I was a kid, and I wish I had them now because in tip-top shape. They're like worth like ridiculous money.
Like Hero Quest.
No. They're re-releasing that piece of crap. Like I had the these were all like off of TV shows and movies because that's all we had. So there was like the $6 Million Man game.
I think I remember that one.
I had that one, of course. You know, I love the show, so that was great. I had a game based on the TV show Emergency, which later became Emergency 51. Out of the world of One Adam 12 there. I had the Star Wars Escape the Death Star game. I used to have to play against myself.
Oh my God.
Well, my mom used to work like 2 and 3 jobs when I was little because my old man took off. Piece of crap. And when I was like 2 or 3. So, but you know, once a week at least, she would sit down like after dinner. She'd have me clear the table and go pick a game. We'll play a game. Checkers, chess, any of those. And it was always the same. It was like I either wanted to play the $6 Million Man, Emergency, or Star Wars.
Well, the thing that's amazing is, like I said, Mondo's coming out with all the new board games. I guess that's one of their new lines because they've been doing the figures, the custom art, the vinyls. Now they're coming out with the board games. And what's amazing is board games have come back around. I mean, when we were little,
especially in 2020, you're stuck at home. What are you going to do? Exactly.
But when we were little, honestly, I remember a time before video games. I mean, and I still remember when my father went out and he bought an Atari 5200, 5600, the one with the wood casing on it.
2600.
2600. Wow. Boy, I gave it an extra 3000 there. It didn't need. But the Atari 2600. Before that, but we always played board games, and I remember my father. We played board games together. We played, Monopoly, still one of my favorite games of all time, but nobody plays.
I had Pong.
But
I had like my mother bought me like a generic thing of Pong, so the game and the controller was like about this big. So there was like a little mini metal joystick on like either end.
Yeah.
And it was 3 games in one. It was tennis, soccer, and hockey. In hockey, the little round square would stick to your little paddle thingy. And it was great, but it would also burn into the screen and destroy any TV you put it on.
Yes, all those old games did.
So with the Atari 2600, but I think it might be Atari is releasing like a small handheld new plug-in version of Pong that's supposed to be coming out, and I go, that's cool, but if it's more than $25, I'm not interested.
Well, the other thing while we're talking about classic video game consoles coming back, don't forget that Atari actually just announced that they're releasing a new Atari console. It's supposed to hit shelves of $300 and something. I can't remember, 3 something. And it's coming out at the same time as the Xbox X and the PlayStation 5. I don't know of any games that they've announced for it yet, but apparently you can double flash on the new Atari and put another operating system on it. So you could actually use it as a little mini computer. But
why not just use your computer? I've been for like the last 15 years, I've been a PC gamer. I'm like, I got the good version of PS3, and I still have it. And once I get some of my tables back from my buddy, I'm gonna set up the TV I got for Christmas for free. And free, yay! And hook that back up there. And the main reason I had that is I can play any movie on the market with that.
Yeah.
And I've got a slew of games for that, and somewhere in storage, and hopefully I'll get I'm looking hopefully to get the green light so they can hire that moving company to grab all my stuff out of my buddy Mike's house and bring it all up here. But I've got an original Xbox because I thought it was the new Xbox, and it turns out it was just the original Xbox. Because just before they were gonna release the 360, the version with the red ring of death, I was in Best Buy, and they had this cool looking Halo exclusive version of Xbox, and it was on sale cheap. And I'm like, ooh, people don't know this is out. Ooh. And I found out it's just the regular Xbox. And I'm like, damn. But I did like the controllers better. They were more for, shall we say, mature hands.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation controller is like, yeah. I'm like, why am my wrist touching? Well, I'm holding a controller with two different hands, But I like the controllers better. And there were what they would do is they would release certain games for PlayStation, and then they would release other games just for Xbox. But that would be for only a short window of time, a 3-month window, and then the other company would get they would have an exclusive right to say like a Justice League game.
Yeah.
And then, the other guys would get it 3 months later. And so I bought an Xbox, and I bought the PS3. It was the last one of the good versions that, up converted everything. And, this one will play everything from, the original PlayStation on up. And I'm like, aren't you going to get the PS5? I go, hell no. That money? Mm-mm. I mean, I want to play that new Arkham Knights game where it's co-op and Batman is supposedly dead, and you can have up to four players co-oping, and you get Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Robin, not Damian, and Red Hood. So they've all got their special moves and stuff, and you could co-op playing them all. They announced it's coming out probably next, beginning of next year or something. And I'm like, I want to play that, but I don't want to play it enough to give Sony I don't know what, $8,000 or some ridiculous amount.
You have to do. I'm waiting now for for all the people that are jumping on day one for the PS5 to go away, and then it'll come back down to its normal price because it's sold out everywhere.
This is what it does. It sells out, but and I don't care what anybody says. There's always, for stuff like this, there's always, any hot item, especially around Christmas, there's always backroom deals at all these stores where, somebody that owns this or is a dealer for that or, whatever, shows up, greases the palm of the manager. They still pay full price for it, but they get to buy as many as they want, and boom. And, so somebody will buy a half dozen of them out of the back room before they hit the floor. And next thing you know,
they're on eBay.
This guy, an hour later, this guy's got, PS5s on eBay for $1,500 because they're sold out everywhere. And, Stu, people are like, oh, my spoiled brat really wants that for Christmas. It's the only thing that'll shut him up. I'm like, yeah, one of these will shut him up.
Oh, God. All right. So we'll have to sit down and figure out what we'll do next month, and then we'll get together and look at it. I've got a whole bunch of board games. I don't know what you've got. We'll get together.
I got nothing.
Really? Dang it.
Well, my mother gave all my stuff away when I was little, so. And I've got some stuff. I might have some old games, but I don't know if I have enough parts to play. I've got like a 1970s version of Battleship, and I might have Connect 4 somewhere.
We ain't gonna play no Battleship.
You sank my battleship.
No, we're not gonna play Battleship.
More up-to-date board games that I would possibly have would be Ticket to Ride, like the train building game.
Ticket to Ride is great. I love Ticket to Ride.
I liked it too until I found out there were 37 add-ons.
Just play it as it is. You ever play Carcassonne?
Who?
Carcassonne. The city building game that's set in France.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's fun. You play Catan?
Yeah. I wanted to buy the Star Trek version. Look at me geeking out.
Yeah, Catan is good. I actually got for Christmas, and it shows you how many games I've got and how much time I have. I have not opened it yet, but my brother actually gave me Star Trek Panic for Christmas, and it's kind of like a castle game, and you move your stuff around. But I have not had a chance to open it and play it yet.
My buddy John, years ago, when him and his parents moved out of their old house, gave me like a box of stuff from his attic, and it was a bunch of it was a couple of old Mego vehicles that he hadn't looked at in like 20 years.
Yeah.
He had like a Batmobile, a broken Bat Cycle, because all the Bat Cycles from Mego all broke on like that center pin in the middle. And a few figures and some an original Battlestar Galactica board game.
I don't remember Battlestar Galactica.
You don't remember that?
Not the board game.
You remember the show, right?
Yeah, just not the board game.
Yeah, I never saw the board game when I was a kid either, but they have it, and they opened it, looked at it. Wow, this is way too many pieces, and then they closed the box and put it up on the shelf.
Well, talking about TV show games and Star Trek, do you remember Starfleet Battles? And it was all right. You've played the old desktop bookcase games where you do the actual very in detailed moving the pieces around. You actually got to go over the terrain, like the military desktop games. Starfleet Battles was like that, where you actually controlled a Starship Enterprise, and the Enterprise could move 6 spaces this way or 5 spaces this way, and
like a miniatures game.
Yeah, like a miniatures. Yeah, Starfleet Battles. That book was, the rule book was this thick. It was like playing Rollmaster. There's another one that's another game that's great that I think that company's out of business too.
Most of them are.
Yeah, ICE was what it was called, Iron Crown Enterprises. They did Rollmaster and Space Master. They were, there was a different attack table for every weapon. But that was fun.
I used to have the original Star Trek RPG. And I spent like all that money on it, and then my friend and I couldn't figure out, so how's this work? And we figured out how to generate characters and everything. And that's as far as we got. And they sat there collecting dust ever since.
Oh, God.
I think I think one day I just, one of my many moves, I, just grabbed all those things and just tossed them in the trash. I'm like, well, this is just that much more that I don't have to bring with me. But I'm toting like 800 boxes of comics around. So,
well, that's the whole thing. I mean, after you get rid of some stuff, and then you realize later on that you I should have kept it or something.
Yeah. But, you know, my big claim to fame for tonight is thank you, Mondo. I actually squeezed my fat ass into this Rewind Your Mind t-shirt.
Yeah.
They found a 4X, and I haven't fit in a 4X in 20 years.
Oh, good gracious.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the last 4 years there's been like, so what's your diet like? I go, well, all I do is eat ice cream and drink soda. Oh, maybe that's why you're 600 pounds.
Oh,
and,
God.
you know, now I'm 389. All I eat is, you know, salads and, you know, protein and vegetable.
Yeah, you know what a salad is, right?
A salad, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Want to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I eat those too now. But I mean, this is a great game. Artwork and construction on it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I mentioned earlier, most board games, because now there's no more toy stores. So you're either ordering it like online from Amazon, because, you know, Jeff Bezos never has enough money. Or you know, you're lucky enough, like I am, to live fairly close to a game store. But like I was telling you on the pre-show, any kind of board game, even a deck building game, is going to cost you $50 to $150.
Yeah.
For a game, and they want to know, why don't people, you know, play games anymore? I go, well, probably because it costs like an entire paycheck to buy one board game.
Well, and the thing too we have to realize is there are still a dedicated hardcore board gaming community out there. Just, you know, getting in them. I mean, once you get in a group like that, and we can be honest. I mean, even we fall into that to a degree to comics. You know, how many dedicated comic groups are they? You know,
Too many.
Yeah. Well, dedicated comic groups on Facebook and dedicated comic groups in real life are different.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, Facebook is just speculators and all this other stuff. And I think the board game community probably has its own share of that. We talked about that with the some of the Kickstarter games.
Yeah, like by next month, between the end of this month and beginning of next month, I should have I backed the Umbrella Academy game, so I should be getting my Kickstarter version of the Umbrella Academy game. My issue with these crowdfunding games from, you know, fairly big companies, because they're all doing it like the Dark Horse has their own gaming arm, IDW has their own gaming arm, and they put, you know, when they're going to put a game forward, instead of, you know, putting it up for sale, one, because, you know, the only place for it to go is, you know, dedicated, you know, game stores. And if the crowd of that, you know, any given game store is like, you know, they see this cool game, but, you know, they don't know what it is, because, you know, as nerdy or geeky as they might be, their only exposure to anything comic booky is either like the MCU, or if it's a series streaming on Netflix. And half the time, you know, if it takes more than 5 minutes, a lot of kids are like, bored now. They've got like no attention spans. But anyhow,
I've got actually right here. I'm bringing it up. If you can
do that.
Yeah, do that for me. This is the game I was telling you I was thinking about that I want to play, that I have not yet. Gloomhaven.
Let's blow this up. Gloomhaven.
Yeah. Can you see that as it's moving?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1 to 4 players, 60 to 20 minutes. It's rated really good. The reason I haven't yet is when you go to buy a copy, they're it's on sale. It's $106 on Amazon right now.
I'm out.
You're out.
I'm out.
Uh,
I get $106. I get like about $100 a month that I can, well, honest, we all know that, I get $100 a month, like excess cash, and that all goes to buy my comics for the month. So
that's kind of what it looks laid out.
oh man, I don't have that much room. See, this is what kills me with this year, because like I could just like take a game with me, and if anybody would come into the game store and I was setting up a game, if I knew how to play it, be like, oh yeah, so and so's, I could set up a day and time that I would go in and teach people how to play like a certain game, like say Video Vortex, and people would like sit down and check it out. But now they can't do that. You can go into the game store, you can buy stuff and leave, and that's it. So I don't know how any of these game stores are actually gonna, stay open through the age of COVID, because they can't allow anybody to be within 6 feet of each other. Then how is anybody even supposed to play a game?
Yeah, I got some. You see, make sure you still see that. That's all the. We'll go ahead and look. This is from Board Game Geek. A little close up of some of the cards and some of the other that we were actually showing you earlier. Oh, that's the back of the actual game board right there.
I love Toxic Waste. The Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. There's your discard pile up here. We didn't get that far. We actually, when you play the cards, that's where they go, the discard pile up there.
The eject here.
Yep. There's how you set all that up. There's the 4. We showed those.
Mm-hmm.
No, there they are with different mutants in them. Haley, Gunslinger, those people. There's the back.
That's cool too, because you can see the back of it. It almost looks like it's a video. It's a picture of a video cassette. Yeah.
It's a VHS.
Mm-hmm.
But theoretically, it's a VHS. It could be a Betamax. There's the board game all set up. So there's your 2 players. There's all your charge tokens, and then that's how we showed that. Looks like they got the actual those cards face up there. So I guess they're face up because you don't care what they do.
Yeah, you're supposed to get the correct cards in the correct piles. Oh boy, and then you take the pile and you shuffle them up and everything. So it doesn't matter because
they're all the same thing.
They're all the same kind of cards. Yeah,
those are. Nope. See, if he can play this, we can play it.
Yeah, really. Now you just have to get a week off of work, get some time, and come up here with a bunch of games, and we can go live here from the loft.
And they give it a 7.7, so 2 to 4 players, 60-minute playing time. But yeah. There's where we showed your video on how to play that, and then there's another video review besides what we're doing right now. But yeah, I'll close this out and come back. But yeah, that's Video Vortex.
Game's a whole lot of fun. Mondo has another game that they do expansions for all the time.
Which one?
Let me call that up. Hold on a second. Whoa, I just came I just came to their main page. They have the Stanley Kubrick collection. 5 T-shirts, 4 laminated lapel pins, infinite ideas. And, oh my God, Mego has they just re-released their old monster creature from the Black Lagoon action figure.
Yeah, I saw that.
But Mondo has creature from the Black Lagoon, 1/6 scale figure, silver screen variant, so it's like all gray tone. It's an exclusive to them. There's probably only a couple of hundred of them, and it's $185.
It'll probably be sold out before we get down to it.
Ooh, it's the Grady twins enamel pin from The Shining. That's hilarious. Halloween Forever stuff. Masters of the Universe Essential Puzzles. Puzzle collections. Ooh, they have a Golden Age Batman and Joker set. Why am I not sharing this? Share screen.
For people who aren't familiar with Mondo.
Yeah. And then I can come back here. There we go. Check that out. The Batman and Joker pin set. They do a whole bunch of tiki mugs, but they're like all like exclusives.
Yeah, I've seen their tiki mugs. They're kind of.
Ooh, there's a Pennywise one. That looks cool. And this is what I told you. They do like the vinyl soundtracks. So here's an El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie original soundtrack. 2 vinyl LPs. They look cool. Oh, they're done up like the meth.
God, I actually was going to buy, and I haven't picked it up yet. They've got a soundtrack for The Big Lebowski on here.
Oh yeah, they have video games. I didn't know they had video games. Whoa, what's this? What? Mandalorian Season 1 original soundtrack, 8 LP box set. Original artwork. And they call it, each episode was a chapter.
Yeah.
Paul Mann was the artist on this. He did all the artwork for these. So each one is like a different, each picture that I'm scrolling through is like a different one of the albums.
It's cool.
Man, that's rad.
You watched season 2 yet?
No, I do not have any streaming services currently. I've only got free stuff like Pluto TV and Tubi, TUBI. Games and puzzles. Let's go to games and puzzles. Here we go. Oh, cool.
Yeah, all these are new.
Puzzle, man, I hate puzzles, but I know a lot of people love them. I know Henry likes them because he got some of the other ones. The Press Room Mad Scientist puzzle set. They all come in kind of like test tubes, and they got kind of like funky stuff.
Well, puzzles are another thing that with the with everybody being locked at home, they've come back. There's our video Vortex.
Cool. This Hoarfrost. I have no idea what that is, but I would probably kill myself having to do that puzzle.
Yeah, because it's all the same color.
Yeah. So here's Video Vortex, like we said, by Mondo Games. Imagine that on the Mondo site. $40. I mean, you get Unmatched. That's what I was thinking of right here. Unmatched Battle of Legends Volume 1.
Huh. Robin Hood versus Bigfoot.
And then they have add-ons. See, you get like all these legendary characters, you know, from everywhere, from movies and books, folklore, and TV and movies. See, there's the game board for it. This is Robin Hood versus Bigfoot. But
Yeah.
the way the game's set up, for as far as I've known, because I talked to somebody about it, the mechanics and gameplay make it so you can play any character versus any other character. Because they've got expansions. Because right here, the Bruce Lee expansion, and it comes with a pewter Bruce Lee figure.
Huh.
Jurassic Park, InGen versus Raptors. Cobble and Fog.
Might have to check some more of their stuff out. Ooh, The Thing. I watched that movie the other day.
Oh, there it is. Is this the game? Yes, it is. The Thing Infection at Outpost 31 board game.
Oh, really?
$60. That's pretty rad. And you get a lot of stuff. We'll have to take a closer look at that. There's Marvel Cinematic Puzzle. Yeah, let's take a closer look at this one. Wait a minute. What happened? There you go.
Yeah. 1,000-piece puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Here we go back to this.
There it is. Go back up.
See, okay. Oh, it's sold out.
Oh.
So we don't even want to look at it. No, but it says from $60. Oh, they're being tricky with the website. It says from $60, but when you click on this, it goes to $120.
I didn't see that part.
See, that's the one fallback to Mondo, because everything they do is like super limited.
Yeah.
So they get to produce a a very limited amount of pieces for anything, and they sell out like really quick. So like this Cap Avengers 1,000-piece puzzle by Rory Kurtz, also, all this stuff is sold out. There's a cool like Cobra puzzle. Stoner parking lot game. I'm sure that was hilarious, but it's sold out.
Dang it.
So the trick is you have to stay at the top of the page, and you need to bookmark, go to mondoshop.com and bookmark the page, and check it out like every week. Like this right here, Terra of Mechagodzilla 1,000-piece puzzle by Tom Whalen. Oh, I know that artist. It's up for pre-order. So a lot of stuff you're better off getting on at pre-order.
Before it comes out.
Yeah. Here's Unmatched, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And it only ships to select countries. Unmatched, Buffy the Vampire Slayer features 4 heroes. Buffy will hit you with Mr. Pointy or summon her Slayer's strength for a cartwheel kick. When it's time for backup, she'll take her pick between insightful Giles or reliable Xander. Man, that right there just sounds like I'm playing Buffy and I don't want to die, so here's a meat shield.
Dang it.
Spike is a relentless hunter. Yeah, so Spike's in here too. So let's take a look at some of the. There's like the little pewter figures, and they're like color coded at the bottom. I mean, and again, like fantastic art on like all their products.
Yes. Everything I've seen has been great.
Yeah, it's all it's all high end stuff. It's not, these are no cheap materials were used. I mean, it's all cool stuff, and they give you lists like interest, like 80s, 90s, action adventure, all kinds of stuff. Properties, they have Alien, Back to the Future, Buffy, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Castlevania, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Die Hard, Dracula, D&D, Frankenstein, G.I. Joe, Godzilla, Gremlins, Jurassic Park, Mandy, Marvel Studios, Masters of the Universe, Spider-Man, Avengers, The Iron Giant, The Thing, Universal Monsters, Video Vortex, of course, and Wolfman.
Yep.
So I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look, see what they got for Alien. Do they have anything? There we go. It's sold out though.
Yeah, it's a cool puzzle.
It was that Alien, but I mean, it's all dark and blue. I'm like, oh, that would try. I would be like, if my daughter liked to do puzzles, I would be buying puzzles from here all the time because I know they sell out. But I would, I'd buy like the backing thing so you can put the glue mat on it and hang it up afterwards. But yeah, that is just a quick look at the Mondo page. So definitely check it out. Video Vortex, it's a great game. I've got to go through the cards when I have better lighting. I need a new prescription for my glasses. I'm nearsighted, which means I can't see far away. So if it's like right up on me, like if I'm going to type something on the keyboard and I don't have my extra lamp on, I got to do one of these. Man, it sucks getting old. It does. But Mondo, we want to thank you very much for the Video Vortex game that we got to do like a mini demo of. Hopefully sometime next year when restrictions open up some, maybe if Thomas leaves, maybe jumps in one of his neighbors' horse and buggy carts and heads up to Boston again, we can. You do have Amish neighbors, right?
Mennonites.
I saw a bunch of Amish people on the news the other day. That's all.
They run a market not too far from here.
But I mean, it's a great game. Artwork is beautiful. You have a blast. It's up, made for up to four players. If you have a huge family, you might need to buy like 2 or 3 copies because there's enough mutants, so you could actually expand that to like 8 people easy. You just need two copies of the game.
Yeah. Just remember, the more you expand it, the longer it's going to take.
You know what? This is 2020. How much longer can it be?
Yeah.
I mean, April lasted for like what, 6 months?
Something like that.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, we need to go back to, people need to go back to playing more board games and, having that family game night. Me, no, I don't really have a family.
That's all.
We're all older and, everybody's got kids and families. Well, I've got a kid who doesn't want to do anything but lock herself in her bedroom. So,
it'll be all right.
so I'm back to being an only child again. And I don't know how to play a game like this, a deck building game. There's some deck building games that there are like ways to play the game solo. Like
Those are called solitaire.
Yeah, or solo. Well, it sounds better than saying, "What are you going to do tonight?" I'm going to go play with myself. Deck building. What?
God.
I know there's you can play a solitaire version of the DC Comics deck building game, and they've released like a bunch of expansions for it. Except they're not expansions; it's just the exact same game with different characters. With different characters, and I'm like, so I bought the second one thinking it was an expansion because Legendary that the game company did with Marvel.
Yeah.
When they do an expansion, it's an actual expansion to the game. When it adds on to it. But DC now they apparently decided, well, we make our movies this way, we might as well make our games this way.
Dang it.
But if you're still hanging out with us, thanks for hanging out. If not, head over to mondoshop.com and get yourself a copy of Video Vortex today. I think all the game IPs that they have are like, ones that they've created or, they're gaming developers that, work, that are part of Mondo. Creative, so it's not somebody else's IP. This is Video Vortex is their own game, so I don't see this game going away. So it's not gonna sell out. Also, don't wait to buy it just in case. They tend to some companies. Was that a cat?
Yeah, I've got like 4.
4.
Yeah.
You sure you're married?
I'm positive.
Okay. Just checking, I remember seeing that card for it was in a card slot that said woman's 40th birthday, and it was just like a whole bunch of cats like walking in a front door. Said, "Yeah, we heard you're 40 and single."
Dang it. No, we've got 4 cats.
No dogs?
One. Yeah.
That's got to be one unhappy dog. He's outnumbered.
He's blind. He doesn't know. And we're actually gonna come back tomorrow night too, right? For our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, we're back to. This was our first attempt at gamer night. So we're gonna try to do like, these like once a month. Of course, my favorite card game, of course, would be dang it, can't remember the name of it. It's very popular, and the kids can't be around when you play it.
Oh Lord.
You know the game I'm talking about now?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. They've actually made other companies have come out using the game mechanic from that company, and they've released like a Disney version.
Yeah, you're talking about like Cards Against Humanity or something.
That's the one, yeah. They released somebody made one that's actually Star Wars, but I don't think anything can beat Cards Against Humanity. But I know there's a really cool sci-fi expansion to Cards Against Humanity, though. But so we're gonna try to do Boomer Gaming like once a month. and see how that goes, and we'll go from there. Tomorrow night, however, we are back with a regular episode of OK Boomer, the podcast. This week, we are diving into TMNT #1. Yes, and somebody asked me, well, which #1? I'm like, the original #1. We're friggin' old. Big oversized ones that you would give your left to own so you could sell it. Volume 1, #1 out of Mirage Studios right here in Massachusetts. And actually, the original Mirage Studios is not too, less than an hour drive from me, like about 40, 45 minutes. Driven by the old house plenty of times. We're gonna dive into that old, oversized black and white from Eastman and Laird tomorrow night. When are we going? About 8 o'clock?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So until next time, this is Will.
And this was Thomas.
And we'll catch you next time on Boomer Gaming and